Hello and welcome back everyone to a new episode of Loremaster Leveling, here with me, Sneaky Bard, and our rogue Tafrona. We are in the Desolace, and in the last episode we talked a bit about the lore behind the Cenarian Circle, druids in general, and all the stuff that they are connected to. Now we are first and foremost trying to finish up this quest and trying to find all the aloe thistle. The exact area that we can go is a bit larger than seems here on the map. I was first a bit concerned that I will have a hard time actually finding all of these thistles within the 20 minutes that I've allocated for this episode, but maybe it shouldn't be that bad. In this episode, however, what we will do is we will talk a bit about the Xantars, the original race that had taken over the Desolace here, or rather were driven here by the Tauren when the Tauren took back Mulga, because the Xantars and the Tauren have been in conflict for, well, as long as anyone can remember, and the Desolace is a, shall we say, holy place for the Xantar, due to one of their great, I think it's their progenitor, basically, the first Xantar, to is basically interred here, as well as there is... Oh, okay, are you just making fun of us here? No, you just randomly ended up... Wait, what are you doing? Excuse me? Yeah, sure, why not? Whatever. Did we get a brief fan here? Well, hello, Scourge. Anyway, the progenitor of the Xantars is interred here. We've got a connection to the Earth Mother as well, who both the Tauren and the Xantars revere, since there's a love story there with the progenitor of the Xantars and the Earth Mother, and you get to find out about all of that in the... Are you seriously following us? Come on. In the Moradon dungeon. There we go. Words. But anyway, yeah. So the Xantars, the reason they ended up being mostly here is...
I'll get something first.
I am... Like, I don't know why this level 110 guy is following us. We will try and do our best to ignore him. Anyway, so the Xantar used to roam across most of Kalimdor. Yeah, let's just restart the story then. While the Tauren were nomadic as well, and as both people were nomadic, as you will have it, the both races basically were locked into conflict. Let's see if we can go into stealth and just forget about you for a bit. No, you can clearly see us. This is more pathetic than actually very effective. Oh, come on. Who the fuck are you anyway? Sorry, language. Now I'm stuck. Lovely. Anyway. They competed for land, and the Xantars were winning until Thrall and the newly formed New Horde, with the help of the trolls, came to Kalimdor, and Thrall met up with Cain Bloodhoof, the ex-leader of the Tauren, who was killed by Magatha Grimtotem. Well, Garrosh had a hand in it unwittingly, but so we will blame Magatha for it. And they, together, the Tauren and the Horde, managed to drive back the Xantars, and this is the reason the Tauren are actually in the Horde, because they have a debt of gratitude to Thrall and the Horde in general. So during that campaign, let's take that quest then, the Tauren conquered Mulga and made it into their home, and the Xantars were driven to what back then, until the Cataclysm, basically was this barren wastelands, the Desolace. So how did the Xantars basically come to be? Now this is where my knowledge of names once again eludes me. So let's just call him the progenitor Zentaur, as we have been doing. Anyway, he basically roamed the land and fell in love with the Earth Mother, and they had a lovely relationship. But what happened then was, I believe the progenitor died. I will have to look up that story in more detail. Being followed by a big level 110 Death Knight doesn't do much for my memory recall, I'll tell you that. And the Earth Mother basically went into grief, but and forced his spirit to basically remain interred in Moradon, where all the other great Zentaur war chiefs are interred. And ever since then, that place has been holy for the Zentaur, and is also the reason why the other war chiefs are interred in Moradon. A very brief overview of that story. I'm afraid my performance on that wasn't as good. That Death Knight kept distracting me a bit too much. Anyway, in other news, Civ 6 is getting a new expansion. I think it's the 6th or 8th of February. So I will have to practice some Civ 6 during the Christmas break, and hopefully by the time that expansion rolls around we can get to play some Civ 6, which would be fun. I haven't played that. Oh dear, oh dear, we don't even wear heirlooms. We're completely okay, we died. Managed to kill one elite guy without heirlooms. Quite good. Anyway, I will have to practice some Civ 6, but it will be fun to play it, because ever since I discovered EU4 and Paradox's strategy games, Civ has kind of, as a franchise series, taken a back seat, as it's not that complex, and I actually get slightly bored of it after a couple of games. The main reason why I actually haven't played nearly as much Civ 6 as I did, say, Civ 4 or even Civ 5, I think I played more Civ 5 than Civ 4, is just due to the fact that I love to play One City Challenge, which is very much gimped in Civ 6. The new expansion doesn't do anything to rectify that situation, but they're going to add Golden Ages and Dark Ages, which act a bit more dynamically in the course of the game, which sounds great. It sounds a bit more grand strategy-ish, which I like. Let's get away from that enraged Kodo, shall we? Which I approve of, especially since I do like my grand strategy. And I do like the new tech system as well in Civ 6, since it's a bit more dynamic, which is always great. There we go, let's kill you, get rid of you. I'm amazed by the damage output. I mean, usually I just said that was a case of heirlooms, but apparently heirlooms don't help you with that much damage. But yeah, I'm curious about the new expansion, and I'll probably, well, most likely end up playing it privately and then later on the channel as well. So that is basically part of my Christmas plans, what I'm doing besides uploading stuff to the channel. Alright, oh, Basilisk. Let's see if we can't... Do we need more? Ah, no, we need to tame Kodos. So that's why we had this thing here. So, Kodo Combobulator, we need to use it on Ancient or Aged Kodo. Alright, let's do that then. But yeah, that is basically, so the whole Zentaur and Cenarian Circle thing linked to the Tauren is actually basically the law of Desolace here, because we already went through the Legion invasion bits here, as we can see from the Night Elven ruins in general. If I recall correctly, at least we did that. That's a recovering Kodo. Where can we find our other Kodos? Over there. Alright. Let's put that like that, and then it will show us where to go. But overall, I actually do like the new Desolace quite a bit, even though it can be a bit confusing to have this weird Cenarian Wildlands thing right smack dab in the middle of all of it. Okay, we didn't want dying Kodos. So yeah, that's actually one of the other things that we could do. The reason why this is also very important grounds for the Tauren in general is that, as we all know, the Tauren class mount is a Kodo, and the Kodo migrate to Desolace when they feel that they are at the end of their life cycle. So all these big bones that we see scattered all around us are basically bones of...
I can't use that item yet. It's
okay, I need to basically bring you in before I use it again. Of big Kodos. Now, yeah, we might say that these bones are a bit bigger than your regular Kodo. I tended to see them basically as proto-Kodos, which are largely bigger than what we had. Are you Kodo? Yes, you're coming. But yeah, that is why this is also a very important place for the Tauren, because I mean they do like their Kodos, so they need to secure this as a resting place for their beloved mounts. I'm slightly bit annoyed that this Kodo is so slow, because we can get to this place where we're supposed to, I think, you know, lead it to much quicker than it can, which kind of puts a slight downtime on this quest. There we go. One Kodo, I think. Okay, now we go there. That was one Kodo, now 2 more to go. Cool. So that is also one of the more tangential or niche lore details, if you want to call it that, of the Desolace, which I kind of like. It's nice that they put in some detail on like specific animal behavior into the lore as well, which I feel is important too, because it just in general fleshes out the story a bit and doesn't also only put the focus on the, shall we call it, sentient races, because the animals can be quite interesting as well. Oh, I was thinking that Buzzard would actually interrupt us, but luckily it didn't manage to do that. So let's bring you back to base. What other interesting things are happening specifically for this Let's Play? We are level 35, so since we are 33, but we will get to 35 in a jiffy. So next zone that we're going to, I believe, is Feralas. I think Feralas with 35 to 40. And since we already talked about the Tauren, and we know quite a bit of the Night Elves, Feralas is a very interesting zone to go to, because it has a very big Tauren presence in it. It's, I'd say, mostly controlled by the Tauren at the moment, but it's also historically very important for the Night Elf, as the whole city with the Dire Maul and the Night Elf, the renegade Night Elf mages that used to be there, proves. So we have lots of interesting stuff to talk about in terms of that. And I'm feeling that what we might do, if I also put on some heirlooms, is try and do a stealth run or something off Dire Maul to show you some of the more juicy details of said lore. Because while back in the day when I leveled my first rogue, I never ran Dire Maul because it was, you know, so huge so it was very hard to get groups for it. I, for instance, also only ran the other huge dungeons only once.
It's not ready
For
yet.
me, huge dungeons in this case would
I
be...
can't use that item yet.
Yes, I can. Oh dear. I apparently need to talk to the Kodo. I don't know what's wrong with this quest. Anyway, the other huge dungeons would be specifically Blackrock Depths, Stratholm. Well, Stratholm was a different issue, even though it was huge as well. Dire Maul. I only run... Well, Dire Maul I didn't run, but I ran BRD once. And Moradon. Moradon was huge. I ran that once as well. Because they were huge, it took time and planning. And back in during those days, I didn't have that much time to put in for running dungeons, at least in like one sitting. Yeah, but when I actually got my hands on Dire Maul in other expansions, mainly do the looking for group dungeon finder thingy, and when I leveled my second character that I got to max level in Wrath, me and a friend of mine, I was a hunter, he was a druid, we duoed dungeons, occasionally trioed them. We also did Dire Maul, which was super fun, and I learned to love the place, even though it had a horrible reputation grind, which I believe is part of the insane in the membrane. Let's have a look if that's actually true. I think reputation, classic, no, maybe insane in the membrane. Has it become a feat of strength? I mean, I don't have it, so I couldn't check, which is weird, but maybe it has become a feat of strength. Alright, there's our Kodo. Good, we can just continue running here, and then we have two more quests after this. We have Peace of Mind. Over here we need to slay Kohor, and we need to check up on the Cenarian not expedition, but Cenarian Circle Druid at Ethel Rethor. Well, quest completed.
What's up?
Let's get
I could help.
turn that quest in. We had also another quest that we hadn't picked up here because of that stalkerish Death Knight, but let's go and do that, and then go and turn in all the other quests. Let's see, where are you? Okay, there we are. Felgor 2 cuts. Oh, you have two ones. We have Infernal Encroachment. The demons are on the move, Goblin. If nothing is done, we'll be overrun in a matter of weeks. Weeks, you say? I've just returned from Manorock Coven, named after the corruptor of the orcs, or at least whose blood was used to corrupt them, where the Infernals... What? I've just returned from Manorock Coven, where the Infernals there are falling from the sky. Is that grammatically correct? I know we're getting into this territory again, but I don't think that you need where and there in the same sentence, like either or. Yeah. Because this is not an expletive. For any of you not familiar with that linguistic term, expletives are basically like it in It Rains and stuff like that. Dummy subject might be a term you're also familiar with. Anyway, suspect grammar, Blizzard. So, what else does he say? We need to at least buy ourselves some time, get down there and pick up where I left off. See, here it works because these are two coordinated sentences. But I will not do more linguistic nerdage here, because maybe not everyone who is watching these things is actually that interested in it, even though you should be. It's very, very interesting indeed. Then we have Portals of the Legion. Here it is, the Hand of Iruxus. Got it from one of the Burning Blade leaders myself. You must possess it if the demon portals at Manor Common are to be banished, which is what I now ask you to do. Oh great, why don't you do it yourself? With the demon threat increasing, we must close the portals to stem the tide of demons to this world. Indeed. How ironic, with Argus in the sky as well. This is one of the... well, in timeline-wise, we're back in time. The Legion invasion hasn't happened yet, but it's nice to know that, at least as far as the skybox is concerned, we're in the present. Let's go and return these other quests before we go to Manor Common. And after that, we shall call it an episode, because I can see we have only 1 more minute left on the timer. Less, as you can hear. So let's return these quests and then call it an episode. So as always, my name's been Sneaky Bard. Thank you for watching. You've been absolutely awesome. And if you did like the episode, do give me a like. Yay, ding. And do subscribe. Also remember to share the word with any of your friends or other people that you know, family members, co-workers that might be interested in the content that I do. I will see you in the next episode. Until then, bye bye.